Welcome back everybody. Today we're gonna play Chamber on Split. Today is day 43 of playing every agent on every map. Today's agent Chamber is at the same time one of the best agents in the game, but also one of the worst. He does his job of being a sentinel really bad, but he is really good for fighting. Because his TP is a almost instant get out of jail free card, and in general his TP makes it almost impossible to trade a kill you've gotten as a Chamber. So playing a Chamber in close corners or just playing a Chamber with an op is a pretty strong thing. And something I see not a lot of people do, but it is also really strong, is playing shotguns on a Chamber. I wouldn't say Split is the best Chamber map there is. He is playable on Split, but he isn't like my favorite agent on Split. If you want to play the Sentinel role, I'd recommend you play any other Sentinel than a Chamber, because Chamber is just in general pretty bad at doing a Sentinel role. But if you are a person with really good aim, and you kind of need to fill Sentinel for your team, playing a Chamber is always a good choice because it allows you to play really aggressively with his Headhunter, his ult, and his TP. And his trap is always usable for denying an entry in certain spaces or holding flank for you. Today I have a great clip for you to show you how important communication is. We started this round off in a 4 versus 2, so we were 2 players, then we were 4, and we brought it back down to a 2v2. Phoenix told me to pop my mollies pretty early because he still has a flash, and his flash is really good if they are trying to go for the defuse. But because he stalled so long, I got a free kill on the enemy chat. And the enemy Phoenix that was pushing long didn't really have enough time to even fake the defuse, so he had to stick it. To be honest, the whole thing I'm trying to communicate right here is that you don't forget to like and sub, and maybe even come say hi to me on Twitch where I stream almost daily. Starting off with A side defense. On A side, you can place a TP right here, place your trip up here, so you know if somebody comes into heaven, and you yourself play close here in front. By playing close here, you're really annoying to your enemies, and I know that because I do that all the time. Playing close here is just in general a pretty good spot, because as soon as somebody comes out, you get the kill and TP out. And even if they are going up ramp with some util and you get util spam, you can just TP back up. And your trip lets you and your team know if somebody has crossed into heaven right here. This is in general pretty good because then you can focus on the people close here if your trip triggers. And if not, you can just still focus on the people in main. You can even hide in this smoke right here if there's a smoke coming. Another thing that is really OP is to play with shotguns on a Chamber. If you have a trip, for example, here, and you yourself are playing all the way in front here, you get a kill, you get out. This is especially good if the enemies have a raise ult, because with a raise ult, they are most likely going to go up ramp or go up towards side. And by you waiting close here, getting kill TPing out, you can then use your sheriff to get into the long range battles, and you easily win the round and you take the raise ult out of the equation. Another spot that is really uncommon to play, but is a really good off angle, is up here. With a TP down here, you can leave your trip up in heaven, and you can then hold the people from main. If you hear your trip going off in heaven and your team is calling, yeah, they are all in heaven, trying to go CT or trying to go side, you can even hold heaven from up here, which is a angle nobody expects, and you can get some free kills off of that. Another spot you can play as a Chamber is if you throw a TP right here, you play all the way close here in this off angle. You can't go all the way close to the box right here because your TP is too far away, but if you play here, you get the advantage from having this really uncommon angle and then just being able to peek in, getting a free kill and then TPing out. You have to be careful to stand inside of the TP range though. Another thing you can do is place a trip right here. You yourself are playing heaven or even ramp.
That's not ready.
Use a TP here, or even better, back here. Like that you can go over, then look towards ramp, get your free kills, go back, or even peek over towards the other side and have a really unexpected off angle on the enemies coming into main. Something you should also try to play a lot is an AWP. An AWP is the best weapon to use as a Chamber, because your TP is instant and you can get out of almost any situation. For example, if you hear somebody coming up ramp, you can peek into them, shoot, and insta get out. You don't even have to hit your shot to be able to get out, and it is in general pretty good, because you can also play your TP down here, and like if you place your TP down here, you're almost impossible to trade even if you get a kill, or not even get a kill. You're down here, you can then peek up with maybe a shorty or even your sheriff and try to fight them more. This is in general pretty good because opping on a chamber is one of the best things you can do on defense, even on attack. Switching over towards mid. In mid, you want to have a trip right here at the same spot as you if you are playing a main, because like that you can easily TP back or just play in vents right here. You can also use a TP in the beginning of the round that goes over here, like in this corner, and then peek out towards double doors right towards bottom mid right here, and have a really good off angle. Or you can use a TP down here. This TP is safe for the same amount of time as you know your trip is there, and you are holding mid like that. You can even walk out, focus on the people bottom main, get your kill, get out. You can even do that with a Sheriff on an eco round. It's really unexpected, and if you hold the right angle, you can just tap and get your free kill and get out. The thing that makes a chamber strong is that he can play really good off angles and that he can get out almost instantly. This is really good to play, especially on mid, because you can play close angles right here. Even with shotguns, for example, if you are playing close in this corner and you have a TP set up somewhere where you can TP back to, you can get the kill and then get out. Not like any other agent. Or you can even use a TP back here, play close here, and get into a really unexpected spot for the enemies. If there's a smoke right here, this TP is kind of risky. Something I recommend on a chamber in general is that you are the most annoying that you can be. Play in every off angle, play in every little corner you can play as. Because it is really annoying for the enemies to play against, and they have to slow their executes down so much. And if you play in really close corners with shotguns, just waiting for them to come in, get your kill and then getting out, it is in general a pretty good thing. You can also use that on B, for example, if you have a TP here, you can play all the way up here, let a teammate boost you up here, and you can then wait for them to come in, collect your free kills, maybe one, maybe getting two, and then TPing out. Just be aware that the people can come through here all the way close to your TP, so don't let them get that far. You can also play on top of this box right here and hold the people in main. You can also peek into the people in main and insta TP out. Or just in general, be as annoying as you can be. Something that also works sometimes is to play close here with a shotgun, letting one of them walk in. This is especially good if there's a smoke close, and you know somebody is taking the orb, you can just shoot in the direction of the orb and get your kill. Or if they're just walking in, do a lot of damage to them, maybe even get a kill, and then finish the job with your headhunter. Another spot where you can do something like this is here in tower. For that you need to use your trip towards mid, either here close or all the way in the corner here. And you yourself play close down here with a TP set up either over here is safer because you can get farther away, but you can also place a TP right here. You just need to TP if your trip gets broken. You need to be aware that your TP is in a pretty unsafe position. You can then peek the people that are coming out, do some damage on them, maybe get a kill or two, and then TP out. Another TP that works pretty well is one where you place a TP here in CT, and you yourself play back here on top of these boxes. It is pretty hard to clear out these boxes right here, and it is in general a pretty good spot you can play as a chamber with an op. Just tell your smokes player to not smoke main, right here. Get your kill, get out, and then try to you can even hold right here, wait for the enemies to come out, or then help your teammates on site with your headhunter, getting some kills, and in general this is pretty good to do. Switching over towards attack. On attack you can use a trip right here in the middle.
That works.
That covers all of the angles the enemies can come from flank. It covers the ropes here, it covers the space right here, and it doesn't matter that it is in the open, because if it is in the open it either gets broken or it detects somebody. Your trip is not that strong, it just is there to detect the enemies. So if you place a chamber trip in the open, it doesn't matter as long as it covers all of the spaces. You can then use a TP either here to focus fighting main, or use a TP all the way back here to focus the people on ramp. You You can even save your TP if you have your team going in fast, and use your TP over here. Go in with your team as a second entry, focus on the people in heaven, close here, and you can then also go all the way back to here and defend from this corner right here, where a lot of defenders can't really play as because it is a pretty open angle. But a chamber is pretty good for that, because you can then fight somebody heaven, fight them in elbow, even fight them in CT, because your TP allows you to do insta TP back in towards main. Just be aware there can be enemies going down ramp, so I'd recommend you have a teammate either holding main or just have the information over somebody coming down ramp. As soon as you have gotten a kill, you can TP out and then focus on the people coming out CT or coming out heaven. Something that is also pretty strong if you have your ult is to go for an early fight. For example, if they always push right here, you can just hold it and wait for them to walk in. Or if you know they are always peeking ramp, jump out, try to get a kill, and then TP back out. This is in general a pretty good thing you can do on a chamber. Playing aggressive with an AWP, especially your ult, is really good to get some early kills and punish enemies that are playing way too aggressive. If you have a Cypher or a Killjoy on your team that watches flank, you can also use your trip to watch ramps by placing it just in the middle right here. Everyone coming down ramps is going to get detected, and you can also use a TP up on top of these boxes if you want to take site, or even ramp. You can go up here, fight the people in here. If you have to TP out, you can TP out, and you can then have a really good off angle on the people that are trying to take the go defuse for the, if you have planted for heaven right here. This angle is not expected at all. You just need to have somebody that watches ramps for you, or place your trip even farther up, so you have early information if somebody is trying to take this space right here. Switching over towards mid. On mid, I recommend you place your trip as a flank trip from B. Usually if you are playing in mid, you get flanked from B. If you get flanked from A a lot, you can also use your trip on A at the same spot I just showed you up here. But in general, you are coming from this side, you can then use a TP, even place it up here, get a kill, even peek out with an AWP if you have one, or even go for the peek right here. Just be careful if the enemies have an AWP. Peeking right here is kind of a risky peek, because most of the times you are getting aimed up from the AWP, so it is kind of a risky peek. But if you know exactly where he is, for example, if you have a Sova drone or just any reveal util, you can peek out and get the kill instantly and TP back in. So you are safe and the person in mid dies. Another thing you can do in mid is to place a TP right here. Focus on the people here close. Get into heaven. Check close angles here. Check here. And you can get pretty far out with a TP like this. You can then even either hold heaven or hold mid. If you're holding heaven, you get your kill, you TP back. Just be aware that there can be people walking out back here, or walking out from mid trying to check bottom mid. So always either have a teammate holding in mid, or just know where the enemies are. And if there is nobody in mid, you can TP back like that. Switching over towards B. If you're trying to attack B, I'd recommend you use a trip back here, because a trip back here covers more space. So if they are pushing mid fast, they are gonna get detected right here already. And if they're pushing flank from main, they're gonna get detected really quickly as well. If you use your trip all the way back here, you have more space to go to, but your trip also tells you that they are flanking later, and it might even get smoked off. To take a side, you can use a TP right here. Walk in, focus on close here, even focus on the people close here. You can then walk out. I recommend you go this way, because like this you're still in your TP. Check CT, check close here, and you can then even play under, which is a pretty strong spot in a post plant. You can also play down here with a Phantom and spray towards CT, because CT is not a big opening, especially if it is smoked off and you have the information that there is somebody in there. You can get a lot of kills by just spamming into the smoke. You can also play down here if you have a Bucky, because playing close here, you can get your kill and then TP out. Or you can even play close here with your Sheriff, hold the people that are walking out here by pre-aiming at around head height, and then getting out. Something you always have to be careful though, if you're playing a chamber and you're TPing out of the site, is the spike might not be planted for you, and you're gonna have a harder time to get back into the site because you're getting held. So if you know, for example, the spike is planted right here and you are TPing out, you have a really hard time to get over all the way to here. So I don't recommend TPing out. I'd recommend staying here and fighting with your team and not using your TP. You can use your TP to get off site after they can't defuse anymore. This is in general also pretty good because like that you are most likely going to get a kill or two of the people either trying to die to the spike or trying to go for the defuse and then realizing, yeah, they don't have enough time, and you can get 3 kills and then TP out. One last thing I've seen a couple of times is a TP placed right here. This TP is kind of interesting because at the same time you are doing a aggressive TP on a chamber, which is a pretty bad thing to do, but you are also able to pick the people in heaven and then TP towards site and get your team more space. If you know nobody is back here, and most likely that there is nobody here, this TP can work, but it is kind of a risky one, and if you TP like that and the enemy team is peeking out, you're pretty much dead. Something that is really important on a chamber is that his bullets are not too expensive, and if you are missing some money to buy a vandal or something, just always sell your bullets first. Don't sell your trip. I know your trip isn't that useful, but you can use it to get information over the map, and your bullets are not going to be used much if you are on a vandal or something like that. They are mostly used in eco rounds or in rounds where you have an op. So selling bullets for a gun is in general a pretty good idea. And always buy your trip, because most of the times if you play a chamber, the only trip you have is the chamber trip, and if you use that for a flank, it only costs 200. It is a pretty good investment to hold flank for 200 credits and have 2 bullets less. And something for the ult, I'd always recommend, if you are having an ult and you have enough money and you already have an op, I don't recommend using your ult and an op. Use a vandal instead and give the op to another teammate. You can always get the op back after, but having a vandal and an op at the same time as a chamber is a pretty good thing. Something that is also rarely used is the ability of a chamber playing close corners with a shotgun. It is pretty annoying to play against, and it is in general a pretty good thing to do because you're basically untradeable. And if they walk into you with a shotgun, it's a free kill. If I had to give Chamber a rating from S to F on Split, I'd actually only give him the B tier. His TP is really good, and he is really good to play in certain angles, but in general, a Chamber doesn't really get as much value as any other Sentinel. If you have to fill a Sentinel, Chamber is fine. His trip can hold flank for you, and his TP is in general a pretty good thing. But if you want to play a Sentinel as a Sentinel, don't play a Chamber. A Chamber is just really good for taking good fights and getting a early frag. If you have any questions or suggestions which agent I should play next, write them down in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like and sub, and come say hi to me on Twitch, where I stream almost daily. Have a great rest of your day, and see you guys very soon. Bye!